Hello everyone, you're watching Mad Titan X, and today I'm going to be going through a few of the reasons why I've decided to swap out my 900D build, which I've had for some time, in favour for the Inwin 928. Okay, so let's jump into the specs of the system. Currently it's running the Asus Maximus X Apex board. I've got the Intel i9 9900K CPU paired with Dominator's DDR4 3200 MHz memory. I am running the EVGA 980 Ti's in SLI. They've been great cards, can't fault them, but they are getting a little bit old, so we'll switch them out with the new build. Not sure which ones we're going to go for yet, but they will be quite a substantial upgrade. Jumping into the water cooling, I've got two EK 480mm rads, one at the top, one at the bottom. I've also got an EK 240mm rad at the front. I've got two bits power 250mm reses, both dual loops. So I've got one loop for the GPUs, one loop for the CPU. It's got two EK D5 Revo pumps. They are housed in the back of the basement, out the way. Fans, I'm running the Corsair SP 120s for the rads. And then I've also got an AF 140 for airflow. So there will be a few components on this build that I intend to use in the Inwin 928. That being the reservoirs, the pumps, and mostly the fittings where I can use them. The motherboard I'll be upgrading, as I will be the RAM. The GPUs I intend to upgrade down the line. So yeah, that being said, let's move over to the Inwin 928 and I'll take you through that one. Okay, so this is the Inwin 928. As you can see, quite a different platform compared to the 900D. It's still a humongous case, but it is quite a bit shorter. It's just more wide. As you can see, this is incredibly wide in comparison to most cases. And that's purely because this will house two, I think it's 420mm rads at the top, and they're in parallel. So that's quite an interesting design. We've got three exhaust fans. They come fitted with the Inwin crown fans. It's also got three in the front, which you can't see. Adjustable RGB logo. Yeah, so let's get this glass panel off, which is tapered glass panel, by the way. We'll get this off, take a better look, and go through it. So one of the things I love about Inwin is their attention to detail and quality. Even when it comes down to the thumb screws holding in the front face panel, they are CNC, one piece of aluminum. Little things, but it just all adds to the overall quality of the build. So we've got four of those all the way around. We'll get those off. That releases the glass. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the motherboard pre-installed. The motherboard I've chosen this time is the Asus Maximus 11 board. One of the great things about this particular board is the fact that it is the Z390 chipset, which is far better suited for the Intel i9. Also, it's got a great feature as it has a pre-installed EK water block for the VRM. A lot of tests show that this doesn't really make a great deal of difference as far as it goes for usability and practicability. But if you're a water cooling enthusiast like myself, this is a plus. So the RAM I've decided to go for is the Corsair Dominator DDR4. This is 3200 MHz, 32 gigabytes. Yet again, not a severe upgrade as to what I've got already. Main thing is the fact that it's black and it's got adjustable RGB on the top, so I've got a lot of flexibility that I can play with once the system's complete. So that aside, let's take a look at the rest of the features on the case, and I'll go through a couple of the reasons I made the decision to switch. Okay, so let's start with overall aesthetics of the case. For me personally, I think they're absolutely great. It's got a nice brushed aluminium sort of finish all the way around the case with a nice trimmed CNC edge. It's broken into three different pieces, so the front face and the top are all one piece. You've got one modular piece at the bottom, and then obviously for the rear of the case, this does remove to allow you access to install your power leads and all your networking. Another great feature about this case is the fact that it comes pre-installed with some good fans for once, which is the Inwin crown fans. They are adjustable RGB, and these particular fans are 140mm all the way around. Now, as you can see at the top here, we do have 6 fans mounted parallel to each other. That's because, as I've touched on previously, you can run 2 radiators side by side. The maximum size that you can fit in this particular case without modification is going to be 420mm. Moving on to the back of the case, as you can see, we've got room for 2 PSUs. Now, this is because really this particular case was designed for the Dominus Extreme motherboard, which I won't be running, but if you do have need for 2 power supplies, you've got that there to use. One of the benefits, like I said, is obviously it's fully modular, so if you don't want to use 2 PSUs, you can make more room just by simply bolting with 2 screws. 4 screws to either end, pull that out, and then you've got a whole load more room. One other benefit to these fans, which I forgot to touch on, is they are daisy chained. So to keep wiring down and less mess, they literally plug in to each other, and then you'll have one made lead that comes out for the power. So moving on to the front of the case, as you can see, it's got a really nice sleek design, very wide, which looks very, very mean. And obviously you've got a logo which is addressable RGB on the top, so you can customise the colour to that to fit the rest of the build with no problem. You've also got your power button and USB ports on the front. So I'll be honest with you, one of the things I don't like about this case is the finish of the inside. It's done with this weird sort of powder coated, anodized. I don't know exactly what the finish is, but it's not, it looks great when it's clean, but it's too easy to mark. So you'll be forever cleaning this, and if you watch any of Inwin's instructional videos, it surprises me that they show so clearly how easy it is to mark and how horrible it can make it look if it's not cleaned off. One benefit, I guess, is the fact if you do scratch it, it does wipe off, but when you come around to dusting this off or cleaning anything, it's just going to make everything a nightmare, and it's just going to be really hard to stay on top of. So that for me is not going to be too much of an issue, because I do plan to use a veneer, same as I did with the 900D, and I'll build on top of that, so cleaning will be far easier. So as far as it goes for the main overview, that is pretty much it. If you do have any more questions that you need in more detail, please ask down below and I will answer those to the best of my ability. So the main reason of this video is obviously this is going to be my new rig, and I'm going to take you through the plans as far as to what I intend to do. Now I will be sticking with the dual loops, so I will have, hopefully, if I've got the room, I don't know for sure yet, but I want 2 bits pound reses, obviously my 250s and the 900D side by side. I also intend on fitting the Revo D5s just underneath the reservoirs. As in the 900D build, there was nowhere for them really to go that looked good, but I'm hoping I can incorporate them into this build. If not, there is room behind the case to house them in the back there. Now the main reason I chose this case and motherboard and RAM, etc., is purely to go for a nice blacked out build with a satin to matte black finish. The accent colour I'll be using is this teal. This is from Pex on PCs. It's quite a hard colour to capture on camera, so I'll clip in a better video of that. I have ordered a custom set of cables from Pex on PCs, which will hopefully be here soon, and I can do a video on those. So yeah, 2 reservoirs, pumps at the bottom. Obviously I'll be using hard tubing, PETG, and I'm going for a very minimalistic look. So it's going to be pretty much tubing where it has to be, but for the most part I'll be using pass-through fittings to obviously route a lot of the tubing behind the case. For the time being I will be sticking with the crown fans. Obviously I need to see how I'm going to get on with those and if they do come up as good as Inwin claim they do, but that is something that obviously will come in the future. Apart from that, I'm not going to be doing too much crazy stuff to this. Obviously we'll be cutting out the veneer from Perspex. I'm going to be going for a matte black veneer, just to tidy up the build without having to cut too much into it or damage the overall originality of the case. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few more bits down the way, but they'll be for future videos. So I do thank you for watching. Obviously if you want to see the progression of this build, please subscribe, and obviously any questions you have, please do ask down below and I'll be happy to answer those as soon as I can. So yeah, once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.